Do you want an amazing marriage? Are you ready to take your marriage to the next level? Then stick around for Your Marriage Matters podcast with marriage coach Lynn. Let's put some fun and sizzle into your relationship.
Hi, today is part 2 of a 6-part series, Top 6 Marriage Books, Catholic Resources that Inspire Lifelong Love in Marriage. Today's title is Marriage, A Path to Sanctity by Javier and Eugenio Fenoy. I'm going to be quoting a lot in today's episode, so bear with me. There are so many beautiful passages in this book, and it is a delightful read that I highly recommend. Marriage is a Christian vocation and has a special significance for individuals, but also for the role they are called upon to play within the church. It's important that when we think of family, we consider it the basic cell of the human community. It is within the hearth of the home that the practice of human and supernatural virtues is learned and transmitted. From here emerge the future leaders of society and the vocations to the priesthood and to the religious life. The family plays a fundamental role in the work of redemption in Christ and in sanctifying the home through the sacrament of matrimony. Let's talk about courtship. Courtship is the situation where each must be detached and ready to receive the other so that they can fully integrate and harmonize. This is quite different than today's hookup culture of dating, where trial and error prevail and whatever suits our fancy is what many people in a dating culture seek. What strikes me as hysterical is that human beings would love to have a happy, fulfilling love relationship, but they are too preoccupied with selfish, physical, and emotional feel-good encounters. They are fleeting and short-lived. With courtship, we are looking for mutual adaptation, respect, and esteem, strong will, familiarization with the little things about your future spouse. Does anything disturb you? Does anything give you second thoughts or pause for concern? Marriage as a vocation. Marriage is the communion of your lives with the Lord and in prayer. Couples are to approach marriage as intentional with a devoted heart. They are to put their energies and talents in the service of God. Marriage is not a sentimental affair or a sexual union. It is a divine mission and lifelong effort. Self-surrender. Marriage involves willing sacrifice with cheerful hearts. Being noble sharpens our virtues, joy, and companionship. If we consider the purpose of marriage as a union which enriches spouses and involves the begetting of children, we are led to true love. The authors say that this leads to identification with Christ, whose commandment is that we should love one another. Love must mature with the passage of time, with constant effort through successes and failures, joys and sorrows. In the chapter on love between spouses, the authors share great insights on the different aspects of conjugal love, which include physical love, emotional love, spiritual love, and supernatural love. Continual effort, sacrifice, and self-examination are needed to foster love. Let us not grow weary, tired, or bored of each other. The authors say that the 3 elements of the conjugal union should be in harmony and are as follows: love, sexuality, and procreation. I have a fidelity quote for you. Quote, "A husband who faithfully fulfills at each moment, in each new circumstance of his life, the duties of love and justice which he once took on, will always be just that much better a husband. It is difficult to keep this keen sense of loyalty a principle to the changing realities of the contingent world, but it is the best defense against aging of the spirit, hardening of the heart, and stiffening of the mind." End quote. Is this mandate difficult to follow? Yes, we must fight against boredom and complacency. People get complacent. They stop nurturing their relationship. Sometimes a partner receives attention and admiration from someone outside the marriage when things go stale inside the marriage. Don't let things go stale. You made a promise and you pledged your love to each other in good times and in bad. Quote, "If a kingdom is at war with itself, that kingdom cannot stand firm. And if a household is at war with itself, that household cannot stand firm." Infidelity always leads, sooner or later, to unhappiness, both in this life and in the next. It also shows an egregious lack of personality, the absence of basic moral values, and an outlook on life that degrades human dignity. End quote. John Paul II once told newlyweds, quote, "Fidelity, love, and respect are the fundamental attitudes that should be found at the base of all family life that is well ordered. Through the sacrament of marriage, they are elevated to a higher order. It is the Christian virtues that will enable you to form your own domestic church. Following the example of Most Holy Mary and of Saint Joseph, may your homes reflect the splendor of these virtues, so that joy and peace may abide always in you." End quote. Mutual fidelity is often endangered by neglect in cultivating love, the selfishness of either partner, the lack of a spirit of sacrifice, and the absence of strong faith. These defects can ruin the physical, affective, or spiritual unity of the spouses. Be careful of flattery, vanity, overactive imaginations, and excessive sentimentality. The marriage sacrament can be profaned and violated, especially by infidelity of the heart. I want to read a paragraph. Infidelity of the heart begins in a subtle way with lack of confidence and communication between spouses. There is a real or feigned attitude of coldness between them. Their relationship is strained by lack of understanding. They feel an absence of affection or companionship. Then, one of them, without malice, but without any common sense either, begins to deal in a familiar way with another person with whom he finds more consolation and relief. As a result, the affection for one spouse begins to cool down and is transferred to that other person. This may reach a point when husband and wife find themselves estranged from each other spiritually, even though they may remain physically together. It may even end up in breakdown of the conjugal union." End quote. The authors remind us that, quote, "Man ought to respect the laws of the generative process, seeing himself not as an arbiter, but as a steward of the plan laid down by the Creator. In fact, just as man does not have unlimited dominion over his body in general, so also with faculties as such because of their intrinsic ordination towards rising up life, of which God is the principle. The same truth has been earlier proclaimed by the Second Vatican Council. Conjugal love, it affirms, is by nature ordained to the begetting and education of children, who are considered the most precious gift of marriage, and who contribute more than anything else to the welfare of the parents." End quote. You've heard of unconditional love, right? I discovered that the secrets to a love-filled lifelong marriage can be found in the last chapter, chapter 7 of the book Marriage, A Path to Sanctity. Generous, fruitful, charitable love is what is called for. When a couple marries, they make a new commitment, and that is to make each other holy and happy. The sacrament of matrimony gives them lasting strength to fulfill their duties as spouses and parents. It enables them to fill their lives with faith, hope, and love. I will end my endorsement of this book here. And I want to say that I plan on making Marriage: A Path to Sanctity a gift to engaged couples. I hope you will seriously consider it. It contains beautiful concepts. Until next time, make your marriage great.